Hey everyone, if you're a founder trying to raise capital, you know the struggle is real. It can feel like an impossible task. So today, we're going to demystify the startup pitch deck. We're breaking down exactly what you need to do to finally get an investor's attention. All right, let's get into it.
And we have to start here, because the stakes, they could not be higher. A staggering 90% of startups fail. Now, this isn't to scare you, it's to focus you. Because in a world this competitive, that first impression you make is everything. And a lot of the time, it's the only one you're going to get.
So, here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to talk about the reality of the fundraising gauntlet. Then we'll get inside the mind of an investor. What are they really thinking? We'll cover the 4 absolutely essential slides your deck needs, how you can use AI to build it faster, and finally, we'll talk about the new pre-seed mindset that is defining fundraising right now.
All right, first up, the fundraising gauntlet. And yeah, it's called that for a reason. It is a super challenging process, but it is absolutely navigable if you just understand the rules of the game.
Let's just be real for a second. The process can feel, as startup advisor Ed King puts it, insufferable. You're sending out deck after deck, a lot of times into a total void of silence. It's a grind. But you know what? Acknowledging that pain is the first step to overcoming it. You are definitely not alone in feeling this way.
And here's the brutal truth about why it's so hard. An investor is probably going to make a no or maybe decision on your entire company in about 90 seconds. That's it, total. Think about it. They get 30 seconds to understand the slide, another 30 to look at the details, and a final 30 to see if there's some kind of new insight. If you cause any confusion in that first half minute, you're pretty much done.
So how do you win in those 90 seconds? It's not about cramming in more information. Nope. It's about learning to think like an investor. Let's break down what they are truly looking for right from the jump. Before they even care about your amazing solution, your rockstar team, or your cool tech, investors are subconsciously scanning your problem statement for 3 specific things. If you get these right, you've earned yourself a deeper look. First is size. This is the who. How big is this playground you're playing in? We're talking about the number of people or businesses that actually experience this problem. A big, quantifiable number here immediately signals to an investor, hey, pay attention. This is a big opportunity. Next up is scope. This is the why. Why does this problem even exist in the first place? Is it because of old, outdated tech, a big shift in the market, a lack of tools? Now here's what's cool about this. The scope is where you start to hint at your unique angle for how you're going to solve it.
And finally, we have severity. This is the cost. This is what makes your idea a must-have, not a nice-to-have. And if you can quantify the severity in dollars and cents, well, that creates real urgency and proves this is a problem worth solving right now. Okay, so you understand the investor mindset now. So how does that translate into the deck itself? Let's talk about the 4 essential slides that will get you out of the no pile and into the maybe pile.
The guiding principle for these slides is so simple, but wow, so many founders get it wrong. Like Ed King says, don't be cute and clever. You want to be clear and concise. Jargon and buzzwords just create confusion, and confusion gets your deck deleted. It's that simple.
And this example just illustrates the point perfectly. On the left, you see end-to-end financial hub. What does that even mean? It's so vague. But look at the right. To solve Latin America's B2B financial infrastructure gap. Boom. In one clear line, I get the problem, the customer, and the industry. That's the goal.
So what are these 4 slides? Number 1, the problem slide, built on that size, scope, and severity framework we just talked about. Second, your solution, how you uniquely fix that problem, and ideally, how you do it 10 times better than anyone else. Third, the market, where you prove with real data that the financial opportunity here is massive. And fourth, the team, the actual people who are going to make all this happen.
At the pre-seed stage, that last slide is arguably the most important one. Investors have this classic saying, bet on the jockey, not on the horse. The idea might change, the product might pivot, but a great team will always figure it out. Your team slide is where you prove you are the jockey that's worth betting on.
Now, the good news is you don't have to do all this alone. We're in a totally new era of tools that can dramatically speed up your process. So let's look at how you can leverage AI for your pitch.
Think about your workflow. Instead of just guessing which VCs might be a good fit, platforms like Evalualize can literally match you with the right ones and even score your deck's readiness. Instead of fighting with design for days, tools like SlideBean and Visme use AI to help you create professional, compelling slides in minutes.
And here's the best part. A lot of these platforms give you analytics, so you can stop shouting into the void and actually see who is viewing your deck and which slides they care about most. Game changer.
Okay, finally, it is absolutely critical to understand the world you're pitching in today. The mindset of investors has changed a lot in just the last few years, and your pitch has to reflect that new reality.
Just think back to 2021. The mantra was basically growth at all costs. VCs were telling founders to light capital on fire just to get users. Well, that era is over. 2023 saw what's been called an extinction event, where thousands of startups just shut down. Today, the new mantra is simple. Capital efficiency is king.
And here's why that massive shift happened. Over 24 times billion dollars in VC funding was just wiped out in 2023 alone from all those shutdowns. Investors got burned, and as you can imagine, they've become way more cautious and way more demanding.
So what's the bottom line for you as a founder? It's this. If you're raising a pre-seed round today, you need to be thinking, acting, and pitching like you're a seed stage company. That means investors expect to see more proof, more traction, and a much, much clearer path to revenue, even at the earliest stages. An idea on a napkin just isn't going to cut it anymore.
Which leaves us with one final critical question for you to think about. I want you to look at your current deck, your strategy, and your mindset, and ask yourself, are you building a pitch for the free-for-all game of 2021, or are you building it for the disciplined, efficient reality of today? The answer to that question could make all the difference.